What's up guys, Drew here. Welcome back to Starting Out Solitary. It's week 254, and this week we are discussing dealing with non-pagan children. I don't know, does this mean our own children, other people's children? I don't know, but I'll talk about both. My children, let's see. My children were raised to think for themselves and decide for themselves what they believed, and they were exposed minimally to any spiritual or religious information that we had for them. Of course, their exposure to paganism and witchcraft was not minimal because my husband and I are both pagans and practicing witches. So they were exposed to several things, at least made aware of, and then left to their own devices. None of my children are pagan. My oldest is nearly 22, and she would be the closest. There was a period of time where she was atheist, and then she was sort of agnostic. She has dabbled in the craft a bit, but she's just kind of hanging out. She hasn't really found what she wants to be, if anything at all. Our middle child is 19, and he is an atheist. He has always been an atheist. He's 100% atheist. And our youngest, who is 17, was atheist and is now sort of agnostic as well. He's definitely open to the idea that there's more going on. But I didn't find it very difficult I don't understand what it means dealing with. Again, we just expose them to our beliefs and our practices and the information, the idea that there were other paths and practices and religions out there. And I'm sure that their opinions and their ideas were colored by ours to an extent, but basically they've come to their own conclusions. And we treated them like you treat children. I don't know. We taught them our morals and values, regardless of religion or what have you. I have dealt with other people's non-pagan children, specifically Christian children. And the way that I do that is basically most of the time just keep my mouth shut. But if I'm specifically asked a question, I answer it in the most honest, yet sort of innocuous way possible. An example, relatives' young children came into the shop I was working at, which was a witchy metaphysical shop, and noticed all the other statues of other gods and goddesses and asked about them. And my response was, there are many people in this world, and they all have their own beliefs and religions and their own gods that are different to the beliefs and religion and God that you have. But for them, their gods and religion are just as sacred and important to them as yours is to you. And I left it at that. So that's kind of how I handle that situation. Like, I'm not interested in bringing people to my side or, teaching all the children to be good pagans or something. I don't know. I'm not. I feel like if we're talking about other people's children, dealing with other children who are not pagan, you just come from a place of respect for the fact that they're on a different path and that's their path, the path that they or their parents have chosen for them, and just be normal. I don't really understand the question. I don't think that spirituality has to come into it. When I'm dealing with a child, I'm dealing with a child first. That's my first concern. And the mental and emotional state and well-being maturity level of the individual, not anything spiritual or religious at all. Of course, everything I do, say, think, believe, feel is tainted by my spiritual path, but it doesn't have to be overt and obvious, I guess is what I'm getting at. I don't know. This one kind of threw me for a loop. It's a little confusing to me, but I do not think that religion and spirituality need to come into play overtly when dealing with children, whether they're mine or anyone else's. I guess that's my final thoughts on the topic. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and gratitude.